Hi, welcome to today's Voice of Greatness broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant and I'm your host. And on today's broadcast, I want to take a few moments to speak with you about something that I call the Alibi of Greatness. Now, most of the time you hear the word alibi, you think of something that's an excuse or a reason to do something that maybe oftentimes is not considered legitimate or invalid, or in a legal sense is actually a breach of social trust. But when I think about the word alibi, I do mean in the sense of an excuse. Because let me say it to you this way. Until we become sure of ourselves and we have proof of our passion by manifesting practical results, a lot of times we feel like we are committing some type of social crime, some breach of professional trust or emotional commitment that we've made, and by us choosing an alternative path, we're not holding up our end of the bargain. And so a lot of times we have to kind of rationalize and justify and compartmentalize our decisions and our attitudes and our actions. And those things can become seen as alibis. And I don't mean alibi in a bad sense, but in a good sense. So I want to ask you one question today as I drive down I-85 between Charlotte and Greensboro, North Carolina, trying to manage the wheel and my passion also to communicate to other people. What is your alibi? How solid is your alibi? Can it stand the scrutiny and discrepancy of circumstances? In other words, we all sometimes in our lives have to make excuses for making excursions down the path of greatness. Let me say that again. Until we have proof of our passion by producing practical results that others can accept and we can embrace, we oftentimes feel like we're committing a social breach or a professional breach by pursuing our path. And if you're going to stay on that path, you have to begin to recognize that there is a reason for what you do. And you sometimes have to make an alibi. So I want to say again, what is your excuse for making an excursion down the path of greatness? See, great people understand that they have to sometimes play all kind of mental games with themselves. You call it mind games. I like the way Will Smith said, if you want to know about greatness from somebody who's really achieved greatness, I challenge you, go on YouTube and watch Will Smith. But he says something that I found is so true in my own life, and I say it's in the lives of all great people, those who have achieved greatness and those who are in pursuit. He said there's a delusional quality about great people. He said you have to believe that what has never happened in the history of the world is going to happen for you and to you. Now, are you able to be, in the sense of Will Smith's characterization, can you be that delusional? Can you believe that what has never happened in the history of the world can happen to you and for you? If not, your alibi will not hold up and you'll be convicted of dreaming unjustifiably. You'll be seen as a pretender and pretentious with a false passion for greatness because your alibi cannot stand the scrutiny and discrepancy of circumstances. And trials, hardships, adversity, misunderstanding, those are the interrogations of greatness. Those are the things that begin to examine the solidity of our alibis. Can they be verified and validated? If I ask 5 people in your life, is this girl really serious about greatness? What would they say? What could they offer me as evidence and proof that you are a legitimate contender for greatness? I want to encourage you today. We're all in different stages of our lives. We're all in different seasons and different circumstances. But one thing we all share in common is a desire to experience more of life, more of our potential, more joy, more peace, more of those qualities and virtues that make life worth living. And the way we do that sometimes, we have to be able to give an alibi that when nobody else can accept it and embrace it, we have to believe it ourselves. And if we can do that, then we can withstand the interrogations of life. We can withstand the cross-examinations that try to cross us up until we begin to cross ourselves out of the picture of greatness. I want to encourage you today. I know what it is to be on the path for seem like an indefinite number of years and nothing happens. And people begin to ask you, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Just use common sense. And it's at that time that you have to reach deep and draw back and say, you know what? I'm going to die on this path. And if you can speak with conviction and live with courage, and you can honor your alibi, it's just a matter of time before you make that climb to the place that you and I know exists despite our present conditions. I want to encourage you today. Stay on the path. Stay persistent. Honor your alibi when nobody else will, because that's what it takes to take greatness to heart. This has been the Voice of Greatness, Joel Bryant. Broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant. Until next time, have a greatness week, because you can.